Alright, we're live on YouTube, starting us up on Rumble. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I am AOXander. We will be joined by the Golden Loon here shortly. And you, thank you for coming in and joining us. Today is Tuesday, aka Tears Day, January 27, 2026. This show is about the interesting and important events that occurred to date throughout the annals of recorded history, starting with, in the year 98, Trajan became Roman emperor after the death of Nerva, and from our other sources it says here, Trajan succeeded his adopted father, Nerva, as Roman emperor. Under his rule, the Roman Empire would reach its maximum extent. It's telling me to image search this, so I am going to do that.
You started early.
No, it's 5:01 right now. I started on the dot. I warned you a little late, to be honest.
Yeah, my phone said 4:59. Okay, go ahead.
Well, why is it not picking us up now? What the heck? Oh, there we go. Okay, that's weird. Anyway, I'm just going to reread this for you here. It says, Trajan succeeded his adopted father, Nerva, as Roman emperor. Under his rule, the Roman Empire would reach its maximum extent. Extent, its biggest,
Yeah.
So, and Trajan, one of the more famous ones, probably for this reason. It says here, began his career in the Roman army from 76 to 77 A.D. He was nominated as consul. 97 A.D. He made his adoptive son and successor of the current emperor Nerva in order to improve Nerva's standing with the army. And then January 27th, 98, right here, Nerva dies and Trajan became emperor. So that's I thought it was going to say a little bit more about that. Actually, let me bigger this here. There is something here. He was born in the year 58 in Hispania, on the outskirts of what is now Seville. Huh. The Barber of Seville? You know the famous opera?
No.
The Barber of Seville? Okay. Well, Seville is a known city. Mm-hmm. He rose through the ranks, serving in places like Syria and Germany, and all that stuff, yada yada. Moving on up here, 417, Pope Innocent I declared Pelagius and his follower Celestius excommunicated unless they returned to orthodoxy. And 532, the Nika rise in Constantinople failed. We spoke about the Nika rise a couple of times. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm listening.
661, the fourth caliph of the Rashidun Caliphate, Ali ibn Abu Talib, was struck on the head while praying at the Great Mosque in Kufa, Mesopotamia, by a poison-coated sword wielded by Ibn Mujam Karajadit, to die 2 days later.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, well, struck on the head with a sword, and it was poison.
Poison, yeah.
But man, he was praying, struck on the head while praying. That is a sucker punch if there ever was one. And these next two, they normally would be nothing articles, but it's interesting that they came right after one another. 672, St. Vittilian ended his reign as Catholic Pope, and then 847, Sergius II also ended his reign as Catholic Pope. So both of them, hundreds of years apart, but on the same calendar date, ended their career. 945, the co-emperors Stephen and Constantine were overthrown and forced to become monks by Constantine VII, who became sole emperor over the Byzantine Empire. 1142, wrongful execution of noted Song Dynasty General Yui Fai. Alright, well, whoopsies.
Yeah, wrongful death isn't good.
1343, Pope Clement VI issued the bull Ungenitus, which, off of the main source, that doesn't sound like much,
Right.
But from the other article, or from the other source here, it says Pope Clement VI issued the papal bull Unigenitus to justify the power of the Pope and the use of indulgences, identifying only the Pope and Episcopate as capable of accessing the treasury of merit, and established a jubilee year every half century. Nearly 200 years later, Martin Luther would protest this. So that's a lot more substantial than the partial sentence we got from primary source there. 1593, Vatican opened blasphemy and theological heresy trial against Italian scholar and wayward friar Giordano Bruno. Proceedings drag on for over 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a statue of that guy right here. It looks rather imposing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see that statue in real life one day. That sounds cool. 1606. Remember the 6th of November. The gunpowder plot, the trial of Guy Fawkes and other conspirators began, ending with their execution on January 31st. So that is, we were talking about a trial that lasted 7 years, and this one lasted barely even 7 hours. So, yeah. 1649, English High Court of Justice found King Charles I guilty of the crimes in which he had been accused, did judge him tyrant, traitor, murderer, and public enemy to the good people of the nation, to be put to death by the severing of his head from his body. Wow. So, 1662, sorry, what?
No.
Yeah.
Tough way to go.
Yeah. 1662, the first American lime kiln began operation in Providence, Rhode Island. And this might be it. You know how I just look up for images and everything. And there's several ruins and such, but this is at least depicting a lime kiln and all that stuff. Obviously no longer in use today.
Right.
But, it's still pretty cool that they still have structures out there to explore and everything. 1662, the first, we got that one. 1671, Welsh pirate Henry Morgan landed at the gates of Panama City. Always a wise decision. Captain Morgan.
Yeah.
So, 1687, Charles Perrault's poem, The Age of Louis the Great, read out at the French Academy, part of the literary quarrel of the ancients and the moderns. No idea what that is, but it sounds interesting there. 1695, Mustafa II became Ottoman Sultan in Istanbul on the death of Ahmed II. Mustafa ruled until his death in 1703. So he's only around for 8 years. Huh. Oh, wait. It says here Mustafa ruled until his abdication in 1703. But the primary source says death. The secondary source says abdication. So which one is it? I mean, if you die, you abdicate by default. But
Well,
abdication generally means you
it doesn't mean death.
Step down. So.
Yeah.
But which one is it? If anybody can let us know in the comment section, that'd be great. Sorry for constantly doing this. I don't know why, but my nose is just running constantly right now. 1710, Tsar Pierre the Great set the first Russian state budget. So much for that. 3 centuries ago, 1726, J.S. Bach led the first performance of Alice nur nach Gottes Willen, BVW 72, concluding his third Christmas season in Leipzig on the third Sunday after Epiphany. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Good for him.
Yep. 1759, Spanish forces clashed with indigenous Huilliches of southern Chile in the Battle of Rio Bueno. And then 1776, American Revolutionary War, Henry Knox's noble train of artillery arrived in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And this is an image from that here. There are several images, but this one looked like, the most cool looking.
Yeah.
But you see that they have the cannons deconstructed onto sleds and being pulled behind horses.
Yeah, is that it's deconstructed? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's a cannon. It's deconstructed. Yeah. They're pulling it on a sled. Then they're going to take it to wherever they're going to go. And I'm going to linger on this photo here and mute my mic because I'm going to blow my nose. Give me one moment. All right, sorry about that. Anyway, moving on up to 1785, we have the first U.S. State University was chartered in Athens, Georgia. The first public university in the United States, the University of Georgia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh. I had no idea.
Yeah. Although is this blinking? No. Why is this not? Okay.
There it is.
Yeah.
Why is it blinking?
Well, because I didn't have it selected for some reason, it wasn't picking it up. But it is picking it up on the. That's weird. Is it? Yeah, it is. I'm seeing it. So our sound is getting picked up. Anyway, 1820, Russian Antarctic expedition led by Fabian Gottlieb von Bellingshausen and Mikhail Lazarev discovered the continent of Antarctica. Yes.
I don't like your green light isn't around the edge.
Well, it is when I have this selected.
Okay.
You see, like I click on this and then well now it's not. Why is it? Well, that's weird. Like, it's picking it up. I don't know why it's not doing it as usual, but
as long as you're certain it's picking it up.
Well, I'm certain that because right here, like it's picking me up here.
Okay.
And actually, I think I need to reduce my audio a little bit here. Let's bring it down to negative. There we go. Testing 1, 2. That's better. Actually, let's bring it up to 8.6. Okay. How does this look? 8.3. Okay. Because I don't want this. You see how it's getting into the red?
Yeah.
I don't want it into the red because then it starts distorting.
Oh.
So let's bring it down to 9. That's better. And bring this down to 9. 9 points. 1 or something. There we go. 1823, President Monroe appointed the first U.S. ambassadors to South America.
Oh.
All right. And 2 years later, 1825, U.S. President James Monroe urged Congress to approve the creation of Indian Territory west of the Mississippi River for the relocation of Eastern Indian tribes to promote their welfare and happiness.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, bullshit.
Sure.
What a sack of crap.
A sack of crap is right.
From the other source here, it says U.S. Congress approved Native American territory in what is present-day Oklahoma, cleaning the way for forced relocation of the Eastern Indians, the Native Americans, on the Trail of Tears.
Well, that's
Awful.
a little more accurate.
Yes. Well, between these two, they tell a whole story.
Yeah.
So this is why I use multiple sources, and why I urge our viewers to use multiple sources. Whatever you're researching, history, politics, the flavor of bubblegum, use more than one sources. I mean, you go to the doctor, you always get a second or third opinion before you get them to cut you open, So this is the same type of thing.
Yeah.
1853, U.S. whaling and sealing vessel, the Levant, was captained by Mercator Cooper, made the first known landing on mainland Antarctica at Oates Coast, Victoria Land. Okay, so we have the discovery and the first known landing on the same calendar date. Different years.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. What else do we got here? 1868, during the Boshin War, the Battle of Topa Fushimi began when forces of the Tokugawa shogunate and pro-imperials clashed. Ultimately, the shogunate were defeated, making this a pivotal point in the Meiji Restoration. It's pretty significant in Japanese history right there. 1 year later, we have the Boshin War. Tokugawa rebels established the Ezo Republic in Hokkaido. Ezo, huh. So this is when the Ezo era started. 1870, after accepting the 15th Amendment, Virginia was readmitted to the Union after the Civil War. Reconstruction. This is 1870. Yeah. While that was going on, we have the first sorority, Kappa Alpha Theta, was founded at DePaul University in Greencastle, Indiana. All right, sorority is the female run, right? Like there's hold on a second. What is a sorority? Because there's two of them. Okay. Well, what's the other one called then? There's a word. Why can't I remember it?
Well, maybe a sorority is a non-gender. I'm not sure.
No, sorority is for women.
That's what I thought.
Hold on a second. Let me look this up here really quick. What is the male version of sorority? Fraternity.
There you go.
It was a fraternity house. I knew there was a word, I just couldn't find it.
Yeah, I was the same way.
1880, Thomas Edison patented the electric incandescent lamp. I wonder who he stole that from. 1888, the National Geographic Society was founded in Washington, D.C. for the increase and diffusion of geographic knowledge. And this is where National Geographic comes from.
Yeah.
1894, the first college basketball game, University of Chicago beat Chicago YMCA 19-11.
Chicago YMCA? What the heck?
Well, the University of Chicago versus Chicago Young Men's Christian Association. Oh.
Wow.
This is the first college basketball game.
Yeah.
There probably wasn't another.
Yeah, but the YMCA isn't a college, so.
But maybe this was the only college team. Maybe this was a way to get other universities to get college teams to showcase its validity, and they had nobody to compete with, so they just versus the YMCA. Yeah. 1900, foreign diplomats in Peking, China, wrote formal notes of protest demanding that the Chinese government stop the Boxers and other groups leading attacks on Westerners and Christians. What a lot of people don't realize is the Boxer Rebellion was a xenophobic movement against whites. So, it was they were trying to kill all the white people. That's what it was about, all that stuff. Well, let me just double check there. Boxer Rebellion, because I know it has something to do with packaging and everything. It was an anti-foreign, anti-imperialist, anti-Christian uprising in North China between 1899 and 1901, towards the end of the Qing dynasty, by the Society of Righteous and Harmonious Fists. Its members were known as the Boxers in English because they boxed and all that stuff, owing to many of them practicing Chinese martial arts, which at the time were referred to as Chinese boxing. It was defeated by the Eight-Nation Alliance of Foreign Powers. So like it was xenophobic. They were trying to get rid of anybody who's non-Chinese out of there by killing them.
Well, I would say it was sparked by them coming in and trying to convert people to Christianity.
Well,
that's what sparked it, if memory serves me correct.
That probably is a catalyst. 1900 as well, Social Democrat Party of America, Deb's party, held its first convention. Okay. 1908, Pasiphae, a satellite of Jupiter, was discovered by Melotte. All right. 1914, a petition was written and submitted by the black and colored women of the Orange Free State, an independent Boer sovereign republic in southern Africa, against the carrying of passes by women. What does that mean? To travel or something? What is that? Carrying of passes?
I don't know.
Like a border pass?
Do you have to carry ID or something?
Yeah, well, that sounds like it. 1915, the U.S. Marines occupied Haiti. Why? So, I'm going to do a surface level scratch of that article really quick just to see if we can figure out why they're in Haiti.
Probably because they're rioting. They seem to have a history of total unrest down there. I don't know what it is with Haiti, but...
it says here, after the National Bank of New York convinced U.S. President Woodrow Wilson to take control of the country's political and financial interests. Rothschilds! This is Rothschilds. So that's why. 1916, during the First World War, the British government passed the Military Service Act, which introduced conscription in the United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, I mean, World War I, they had to get bodies into the meat grinder. 1918, the silent film Tarzan of the Apes. Oh, yeah, here's a picture of them discovering Antarctica, at least.
Oh,
you see some people on the ice shift over there. Looks like these guys are clubbing a seal or something. I'm not sure. Then we have here the Tarzan of the Apes, the first film adaptation of the novel, premiered at Broadway Theater in New York City, starring Gordon Griffith and Elmo Lincoln. All right.
What year was that again?
1918. Yeah. We also have 1918 as well. The first hostilities occurred in the Finnish Civil War. Finnish Civil War beginning. 24, Claes Stumberg of Finland claimed 3 gold medals in one day when he won the 1500 meter, 5000 meter, and all-around speed skating events at the Chamonix Winter Olympics. Won 5,000 meter the day before, so he won it yesterday.
Yeah.
So, but this is like the very first Winter Olympics and everything.
Wow, that's some stamina.
Yeah. 1924 as well, Vladimir Lenin was placed in a mausoleum in Red Square, Moscow. This is 3 days after after his death, although our secondary source now says 6 days after his death. So let's put a stake in this right now. January 21st. That's 6 days.
6 days.
So it's no longer 3 days. So confirmed 6 days. So moving on up, what else do we got? 1 century ago, 1926, physicist Erwin Schrödinger published his theory of wave mechanics and presented what became known as the Schrödinger equation in quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
We all know about Schrödinger with his dog. So, but yeah.
Cat. Schrödinger's cat.
No, Schrödinger's dog.
I thought it was a cat.
Oh wait, no, it was a cat. Who's it? Somebody with a P. Like remember the scientist who did the with the bell and the salivation test with the dog?
Yeah.
What was his name? Anyway, here the Schrödinger theory in 1926. It assumes that there is a wave associated to the electron, just like de Broglie had assumed. This wave is called wave function and represented by this equation. This wave is a function of position x and time t. Through differentiation, it can be solved to find the Schrödinger function. So, all right, that's pretty cool. And actually, hold on a second. Pavlov, Schrödinger and Pavlov joke. No, there's a funny joke here. Unfortunately, using Reddit. A man walks into a library and asks a librarian for a book on Pavlov's dog and Schrödinger's cat. The librarian says, "It rings a bell, but I'm not sure if it's here or not." Pavlov's dog with a bell. And Schrödinger's cat, is it alive or dead?
Yeah.
You know, it's a double pun.
Yeah.
I very rarely experience a joke that good. 1926 as well, U.S. Senate agreed to join the World Court. All right. 1928, Bundaberg tragedy. A diphtheria vaccine was contaminated with Staph aureus bacterium, resulting in the death of 12 children in the Australian town of Bundaberg. this is why you got to be careful whenever, you give permission for somebody to stick something in you. You don't know if it's fully clean or not, Like, do you really absolutely positively have to need it? Are you going to drop dead in 3 seconds if you don't have it? If not, don't do it. It's just not worth it. 1939 flights, the first flight of the Lockheed P-38 Lightning. And, here's a picture of Lenin's mausoleum right here.
Thing's huge.
Yeah, it's just this part. It kind of blends in with the wall of the
no, I got the wall
Kremlin
right there.
behind there. So
that's his tower, though, right?
This tower thing, yeah.
It's huge.
It is. Well, it's Lenin.
Yeah.
So, and here's a picture of this bird. And I'm going to linger on this and blow my nose really quick. Give me a moment.
Off.
It is.
I know.
Well, it's not off anymore, but... And if it wasn't, I'm sorry for anybody who heard that. 1941, Peruvian Ambassador Ricardo Rivera Schrebinger warned the U.S. ambassador of Japanese assault on Pearl Harbor. So now we have 2 warnings.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh no, there was plenty of signs that was coming. Yeah,
but they wanted it to happen. So they didn't they didn't know it was going to happen at Pearl Harbor or what was going to happen, but They put all the battleships in a nice low row like bowling pins. They got all the aircraft carriers out. I'm sorry, it was orchestrated to a certain degree. They wanted Japan to swing the first swing, so that way we'll look like victims, and then we won't look bad when we declare war on them.
I would agree with you on that theory that you would want to get the aircraft carriers out, but you wouldn't put all your battleships in a row so they all could be hit easily. You still wouldn't want to wipe them all out.
Well, we also knew of our industrial might. It's, you know what? Why don't we talk about that on I'm Okay, You're Okay coming up?
Okay.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
All right. Where's a pen? I need a pen. I do not have a pen. Is that a pen? That is not a pen. I'll just grab a pencil here. IOYO. Pearl Harbor. Conspiracy. Alright, moving on up to 1943, we have the first U.S. air attack on Germany at Wilhelmshaven. And that usually is like a nothing article, but from our other source here, it says we have the 8th Air Force sorties 91 B-17s and B-24s to attack the U-boat, construction yards at Wilhelmshaven, Germany. This was the first U.S. bombing attack on Germany during the Second World War, that is.
Yeah.
1944, siege of Leningrad was lifted by the Soviets after 888 days, and more than 2 million Russians were killed. And our other source here says 900, and then they changed it to 872. So, we have major discrepancies here. And it shows here on our primary source 2 young girls helping assemble Soviet submachine guns during the siege of Leningrad. So, all hands on deck.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's telling me to image search this as well, and I'm going to do that because there's usually, interesting things to show. Oh yeah, we have this almost looks fake.
Yeah, that looks staged.
Almost. But there's a CCP flag, or CCCP, you can see the Soviet Union flag back here. And so I'm not sure if that's staged or not, but these are actual images. And is that 2 men kissing right here? I mean, after Leningrad, I'm not passing any judgment, but back then, that's unusual.
No.
Kissing on the cheek.
Cheek to cheek. Double kiss on cheeks. Men did that all the time, I think.
Very true, yeah. Well, France and, a lot of Saudi, and Arabic people, all that stuff. What else do we got here? Why is this here? I meant to put that up there. 1945, Nazi occupiers forbade food transport to the West and the Netherlands. And 1945 as well, Soviet troops liberated Auschwitz and Birkenau concentration camps in Poland, now commemorated as International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Specifically, the Soviet 322nd Rifle Division liberated the remnants of, the remaining inmates of Auschwitz-Birkenau.
Yeah.
So, and these are two different things. There's Auschwitz and Birkenau, but sometimes people hyphen them, like right here, Auschwitz-Birkenau. But those are two different places. But they're next to each other.
I thought we were the first ones in there, but maybe just not to Auschwitz.
Not to Auschwitz, but there's like a lot of them.
Yeah, no.
1945 as well, Wally Van Hall, Dutch banker and resistance leader, was arrested. So, you know, I'm not sure if he was a good banker or if he was arrested because people were actually doing things for humanity. 1948, the first locomotive to carry 1 million pounds, or 450,000 kilograms, operated. That is incredible. 1 million pounds?
A payload, you mean?
Whatever. You know, the first locomotive
Yeah.
to carry 1 million pounds.
Wow.
Operated. We also have the first tape recorder was sold in 1948. And I actually have a picture of that. Look at that thing.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. And in 1951, U.S. began 126 nuclear tests at the Nevada test site, Operation Ranger.
After World War II, we went crazy.
Yep. Well, there's that one video, you know, showcasing all the nuke launches. Every nuke explosion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
How
where
they
is
get
that?
bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, is this it here? 12 years ago? 15 years ago? No, this might be it here. Hold on a second. Which one is it? This one. So, this is. I'm going to add this in the underbar, but let me bigger this here really. So I'll just show you. So every flash of light is a nuclear explosion. So you see all the flashes here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just fast forwarding it really quick.
Yeah.
And it shows like all the different ones. You know, U.S., China, Russia, you know, India, France, UK. So I'm going to add this in the underbar section actually. So let me put that there. Every nuke explosion, and this ends at 1990 for that treaty. Mm-hmm. It does not count since little missile man, what's his face, Rocket Man, yeah. 1954, U.S. boxer Archie Moore beat Joey Maxim in 15-round unanimous decision to retain his world light heavyweight title at the Orange Bowl in Miami. The last of a famous trilogy of fights, all won by Moore.
Yeah, he was a great one.
Yeah.
Archie Moore.
Yep. I wonder who his arch nemesis was. 1956, RCA Records released Elvis Presley's single, Heartbreak Hotel, his first million seller, written by Mayborn Axton and Tommy Durden. 1961, Leontine Price and Franco Corelli made debuts at the Metropolitan Opera in New York, and Il Trovatore. Final curtain call lasted 35 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. What's a curtain call, by the way?
When it's over and they start applauding and
they do all bowing and everything?
Or? Well, they come out. That's the curtain call, yeah. But then 35 minutes and they got to come back out again.
Ah. That sounds annoying.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a great honor.
So they were clapping the entire time for 35 minutes?
It sounds like it.
Wow.
To get him back out there.
Okay. 1961, the Soviet submarine S-80 sunk when its snorkel malfunctioned, causing the boat to flood. Whoopsies.
Ooh.
Yeah. You want the submarine to sink, but you also want it to come back up. You know? See, the difference between...
You want to sink in your direction.
Yes. Well, the difference between a submarine and any other boat is a submarine is supposed to come back up. You know? 1963, Sam Rice, Epa Rixey, Elmer Flick, and John Clarkson were elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Do you recognize any of those?
No.
Okay. 1964, South African cricket batsman Eddie Barrow, 201, and Graham Pollock, 175, combined for a 341-run stand in the fourth Test against Australia at the Adelaide Oval. And I couldn't find any... I couldn't find any cricket articles of any substance, so I just randomly just picked one, you know? I have to annoy you at least once a show. You know, there has to be a cricket thing. 1964 as well, U.S. Senator Margaret Chase Smith of Maine announced her bid for Republican presidential nomination. Yeah, a woman.
Yeah.
Nice.
Back in 64.
Yeah.
Boy, why don't I remember that, huh?
I don't know.
Must not have gone very far.
Maybe. So, 1965, we have the first ground station to aircraft radio communication via satellite. That is remarkable.
Yeah.
We also have the groundbreaking for the Dragon Gateway at Grant Avenue. what I don't know what Grant Avenue is. I don't know what this Dragon Gateway is. Oh, it has to be Chinatown. It looks like. Oh, we've been there. We've been under here, I think, haven't we?
San Francisco.
Yeah, but like, have we been under this gateway?
Yeah.
So we have.
Yes.
That is awesome. So we've physically been there. That is so cool. This is why I love going out and going to museums and experiencing cultures, because then I get to experience the history that we talk about. So
why do we never go to the Barbie Museum?
Well, we went to the Barbie exhibit, but you couldn't get a picture of me in that stupid car. 1966, Wisconsin State Circuit Court Judge Elmer W. Roller ruled either the Braves stay in Milwaukee or the National League must promise Wisconsin an expansion team for 1966. That seems like a fair deal.
Yeah.
67, this one's a very big tragedy here. A fire in NASA's Apollo 1 command module killed astronauts Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger B. Chaffee during a launch rehearsal. And this is a picture of the aftermath and everything.
Yeah.
And there is a huge conspiracy about them intentionally killing them because they were trying to, like, even though we had the money to beat Russia, for whatever reason, we were cutting costs. And Gus Grissom and one of these other two people were starting to, like, speak up about it and everything. Like, like, they're gonna have us killed, like, for the sake of getting us up, like, we're no better than the Russians, like, because the Russians had several people die, on the landing, on the launch pad and everything, because they don't care, they want to beat us.
This was a rehearsal, they call it here. I can call it. It was a practice session.
Yeah, but.
That's the tragedy.
Now the reason why this happened was because there was no way on the inside for them to open the hatch in case of an emergency. And because the whole thing was engulfed in flames, nobody can come to the hatch to open it up. So they just cooked, but like, look it up out there. There's a major conspiracy that these were killed. These people were killed off. 1967 as well, New Orleans Saints signed their first player, kicker Paige Coulson. All right. We also have treaty was signed banning military use of nuclear weapons in space. That seems, that's a pretty substantial article for such a small, little blip right here. But from the other source here, during the Cold War, the United States, the United Kingdom, and the Soviet Union signed the Outer Space Treaty in Washington, D.C., banning deployment of nuclear weapons in space and limiting the usage of the moon and other celestial bodies into peaceful purposes. That is a lot more, in depth right there. In 1968, the French submarine Minerve disappeared in the Mediterranean with a loss of 52 crew.
Whoa.
We have 2 submarine disasters on this calendar date. 1969, 14 spies were hanged in Baghdad. Yeah, how it happened. And then we also have 9 Jews were publicly executed in Damascus, Syria. Why? Why were they, like, why does this keep happening? So, the Baghdad hanging. Oh. Wait, no, this is Syria. But this is saying Baghdad. So these two... Oh, public hangings of 14 alleged Israeli spies in Iraq. So these two are connected.
Baghdad?
Well, I looked up this article right here that says Damascus, Syria, and it's bringing it up the Baghdad hangings. And these are both in 1969. And this is saying 14 alleged Israeli spies in Iraq. This says 14 spies. Okay. And this says 9 Jews. So these are definitely tied in. So I'm gonna add this in the other bar here really quick, because I'm gonna have to do this here. Hangings, Baghdad hangings.
Why wouldn't they tell you they were spies, Israeli spies?
Well,
instead of just Jews being hung.
Well, because then you don't feel sorry for them. If, this is why, I always say, how come whenever the Jews, get their teeth kicked in, we can never talk about why, otherwise it's anti-Semitic. They always come in with that conversation shut-upper, so that way you can't figure out what really is happening, and maybe the Jews were in the wrong. And maybe they got their just desserts, but we can't have that. They have to be victims all the time, 24/7. So, 1969, Reverend Ian Paisley sentenced to 3 Okay, that's weird. Sentenced to 3 months in jail at Armagh for participating in a lawful assembly during Civil Rights March back on November 30th. And
It would have to be an unlawful.
yeah, unlawful assembly.
Oh, you said lawful.
Oh, sorry. I got confused there because in the primary source it says was sentenced to 3. You see that?
Yeah.
That's a typo. So 1970 as well. Movie rating system modifies M rating to PG. So from mature to parental guidance.
Gotcha. Yeah.
1971, Montgomery Street Station, last link in Bay Area Rapid Transit in San Francisco, hold through. So they finished digging and everything.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was initially wondering what that meant, but like this has to be underground.
Yeah, that's probably for the tube going under the water.
Yeah, Bay Area Rapid Transit.
Yeah.
So 1971 as well. The body of a man who had been shot dead was found in Belfast. That's all they said.
Huh.
Like they found a body. Okay. 1972 as well. The British Army and the Irish Republican Army engaged in gun battles near County Armagh. British troops fired over 1,000 rounds of ammunition.
Jeez.
The British just will not let go of their stranglehold. Free Ireland! Free Ireland! Come on. 1973, Paris Peace Accord signed by U.S. Secretary of State William P. Rogers, North Vietnam Minister of Foreign Affairs Nguyen Doy Tri, Republic of South Vietnam Minister of Foreign Affairs Nguyen Thi Binh, and Republic of Vietnam Minister for Foreign Affairs Tran Van Lam, ending United States' then longest war and its military draft. So, it continued until 76.
I'm not sure.
Because because the Vietnam War ended twice. We actually won. The North Vietnamese, they threw in the towel. They were done. But the Viet Cong kept fighting, going in through the Ho Chi Minh Trail into Cambodia and all that jazz. And because the people kept fighting, the government was just like, okay, I guess we'll throw our hat back in the ring, and then they won. So, even though we won initially, the people said no. The people are the power. And very much like how we did to the Brits in 1776, the Vietnamese did to us in the 1960s and 70s. Actually, hold on a second. Now that I think about it, when did the Vietnam War... Hold on a second. 1975, officially. So this right here is when, what I just said.
Yeah.
They were done. But then it lasted for another 2 years. I just thought of it. 1776, 1976. 200 years exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of weird. 1973, UCLA's basketball team won 61st consecutive game NCAA record. All right. And we also have Laverne and Shirley TV spinoff from Happy Days starring Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams premiered on ABC TV. 1980, Robert Mugabe returned to Rhodesia after 5 years in exile.
Wait a minute, Mugabe?
No, Mugabe, not
Mugabe.
Mozave. Musave.
Musave.
Mozave! But yeah, no, Robert Mugabe, he was the president of Zimbabwe. I think he was the founder of Zimbabwe? I guess not. He was a...
I think he was a crook. I'm not mistaken. He's still blind from the I may be wrong. Maybe the wrong guy.
There's a lot of African leaders who are crooks.
Yeah.
It says here, Mugabe was one of the leaders of the resistance against white minority rule in Rhodesia, eventually leading to ZANU-PF to victory and becoming the president of Zimbabwe in 1980 after the Lancaster House Agreement that ended the Rhodesian Bush War. So yeah, so it sounds like he's a good guy. He's against white minority rule, which I'm for. I'm against white minority rule. Is what I mean.
Him is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm supporting him. Is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Moving on up. 1980, through cooperation between the U.S. and Canadian governments, 6 U.S. diplomats secretly escaped hostilities in Iran in the culmination of the Canadian Caper. What?
I don't know.
I'm going to look this up here really quick, just a surface level scratch. The Canadian Caper. Canadian Caper. Huh. It was a joint covert rescue by the government of Canada and the U.S. CIA of 6 U.S. diplomats who had evaded capture during the seizure of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Okay.
That is big.
Yeah.
1981, CBS aired The Bunker, based on journalist James P. O'Donnell's book of the same name, starring Anthony Hopkins as Adolf Hitler, and an Emmy Award-winning performance. Huh.
Ooh, I'd kind of like to see that.
I would like to see that too. Hold on a second. I need to figure out The Bunker. Hold on a second. The Bunker. CBS. Alright. 1982, Los Angeles Kings set an NHL record with their 6th consecutive tied game, a 4-4 deadlock against the visiting Philadelphia Flyers. 1983, pilot tunnel broke through under the Tsushima Strait for Shiken Tunnel project to connect Honshu and Hokkaido, Japan, by rail. It was the world's longest subaqueous tunnel at 53.85 kilometers long between the Japanese islands of Honshu and Hokkaido. This is when they broke through. So now they just got to finalize everything. 1984, Michael Jackson was burned during the filming for Pepsi commercial.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 1987, Midnight Rockers beat Buddy Rose and Doug Somers for AWA World Tag Team. What does that mean?
Wrestling.
Okay. Wrestling. U.S. 1989, Kevin Johnson, Phoenix. Oops, did not mean to do that. Come on. Oh, come on. Don't do that. There we go. Began NBA free throw streak of 57 games. Wow. 1989 as well. Making sure that this is lighting up. Is it lighting up? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Yes, it is. Okay. 1989, Oklahoma linebacker Mark Van Kiersblik assaulted an Oklahoma grad student. That's not good. 1981.
I wonder if it's a woman.
Well,
He assaulted a woman.
well, I mean, assaulting a man or a woman is not good.
No, I know, but I'm just wondering
Oklahoma.
if that's how it makes news, because it's a woman. If you assaulted a guy, it would just be a fight.
True, but this is an Oklahoma linebacker.
Yeah.
This was a professional guy, so it wouldn't just be some random dude. And this is weird. Well, actually, you are 100% right. A woman was assaulted and raped in a room of Oklahoma State football player, January 21st, 1989.
So there's even more to it.
Yeah. So, and that's weird. The website is called amiannoying.com. So, I'm going to add this right there. 1991, a Dutch pacifist socialistic party disbanded. That didn't last long.
How long did it last?
I don't know, but remember yesterday we spoke about this?
I don't.
Pacifist Socialistic Party?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It was like, oh, that's weird.
Weird name.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's the only article of that one. What else do we got here? Put this guy back up to his corner here. 1992, Mike Tyson went on trial for rape. He was found guilty. Mm-hmm. And we also have presidential candidate Bill Clinton, a Democrat, and Jennifer Flowers accused each other of lying over her assertion they had a 12-year affair. What? Okay.
I remember something about that.
Can this guy not keep it in his pants?
No.
Seriously, what the hell?
No, he couldn't.
Wow. 1994, Romanian Social Democrats formed government with anti-Semites. That's not good. You don't want anything anti-anything, you know? 95, Eric Cantona of Manchester United fined and banned from playing football after attacking a fan. 1 year later, if we have a 15-day-old conjoined twins separated, Sarah Morales survived, but Sarah He died. So they're 15 days old. They were conjoined.
Yeah.
And one of them, unfortunately, passed away. That is...
Well, probably most likely only one was going to die, going to live.
Yeah, and if they didn't separate, there probably would have been complications and they both die or something. Yeah. So, 1996, Colonel Ibrahim Bari Mainasara deposed the first democratically elected president of Niger, Mohamedi Ousmane, in a military coup. Yikes. We also have Germany celebrated its first Holocaust Remembrance Day. Yeah, they're the ones who caused it. 1997, men's are from Mars, women are from Venus, opened at Gershwin, New York City.
I remember something about that.
Yeah. Well, that's also like a jump rope canter. You know, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. You know, whenever you were in school,
Rhythmic, yeah.
you know, there's a cantor, you know.
Oh, a cantor.
Yes.
That's you were saying cancer.
No, a cantor, like
Yeah.
And what's really funny is, I think Jess told me about this. You remember when he was in the Air Force and everything? He went through boot camp. Like, you know, the whole cantor, like left, right. It's keeping up a beat.
Yeah.
What was really interesting, I think he's the one, because somebody I knew told me this story, because they actually did this. It was either him or somebody in his group came up with a SpongeBob theme song. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants. It works.
Sure, anything will work.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
In 1998, Roland Clarkson discovered 2 to the power of 3021377 -1, 37th known Mersenne prime. Some kind of mathematics, something or other.
Over my head.
Yeah, over mine too. 1998, WNBA began filling the rosters of Washington Mystics and the Detroit Shock.
98, that's about when they first started.
Is it this kind of shock? So, 2002, an explosion at a military storage facility in Lagos, Nigeria, killed at least 1,100 people and displaced over 20,000 others. Yikes. 2003, the first selections of the National Recording Registry were announced by the Library of Congress. 2004, Hey Yeah! Single released by Usher featuring Lil Jon and Ludacris, Grammy Award Best Rap / Sung Collaboration 2005, Billboard Song of the Year 2004.
You ever heard of them?
No, but well, I know who Usher and Lil Jon and Ludacris are.
Okay.
But I was just going by I think it's Lil Jon who goes yeah. You know, so he wears that big ass clock on his neck and everything, or maybe that's somebody else.
I have no idea.
All these rappers, they all have gimmicks and they all start morphing into the same crap. 2010, the Apple announced the iPad. Yeah. 2011, Arab Spring, the Yemeni Revolution began as over 16,000 protesters demonstrated in Sana'a. 2011 as well, within Ursa Minor, H1504 plus 65, a white dwarf with the hottest known surface temperature in the universe at 200,000 degrees Kelvin was documented. That is hot.
Yeah.
2013, 7 people were killed and 3 were injured when a retaining wall collapsed during a football match at the Uyghur Sports Facility in Turkey. Yeah. A lot of stuff in 2013. The Kiss nightclub fire in Santa Maria, Rio Grande do Sul, Brazil, ignited by pyrotechnics used by a performing rock band, killed 245 people and injured at least 600 others. Most of the deaths were from toxic smoke inhalation. Yeah. The club was over capacity and had no fire exits. Stupid.
Yeah. I remember seeing, I believe it was this one.
Yeah.
A picture of people just jammed in the doorway from the top to the bottom, stuck. Nobody could move.
Well,
does that make sense? What I was saying?
Yeah.
If it was, I don't even know if it was this one.
There's been several different fires and nightclubs and everything. Here's an aftermath. So it's just cooked. That's awful. 2016, on this day, received its second substantial facelift, courtesy of a fresh new website design and brand by design studio, Folk. A dedicated film and television channel was launched alongside the new design. Basically, what I'm trying to do with Omni Coalition and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, 2017, Donald Trump issued executive order banning travel to the U.S. for 7 mostly Muslim countries and suspending admission for refugees. I'm all about people coming here, but a lot of people coming here are not doing anything, are not doing so to assimilate, to become part of us. They're coming here with notorious things in mind, and
looking for freebies.
Well, and looking to kill. So, 2017, a naming ceremony for the chemical element tennessine took place in the United States. That sounds pretty cool. 2018, a bomb in an ambulance killed over 100 people in Kabul. Taliban claimed responsibility. Wow, it's not every day that an ambulance explodes, We also have Rashid Khan was bought by Sunrisers Hyderabad in the IPL. This was removed from primary source. I wonder why. 2019, a landslide killed 15 at a wedding party in a hotel in Abenaki, Peru. And we also have a tornado struck Havana, Cuba, killing 3 and injuring 172. That's unusual. A tornado in Cuba.
Yeah. I think of hurricanes, but not tornadoes.
2020, former King of Belgium, Albert II, admitted fathering a child after DNA test confirmed paternity. Well, you have to admit now.
Yeah.
You know, you've been caught. 2022, let's go, Brendan! Pledged to nominate a black woman to the Supreme Court. Well, if color doesn't matter, then why does color matter?
Yeah.
You know? 2023, International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Representatives from various countries gathered at the site of Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp. Among attendees was Doug Emhoff, the first Jewish spouse of a U.S. president or vice president. Yeah. We also have New Zealand. City of Auckland declared its state of emergency as a tropical storm brought record levels of rain, major flooding, and 4 deaths. 2023, urgent search announced for tiny radioactive capsule, 6mm by 8mm, which dropped out of a truck somewhere along 1,400-kilometer journey in Western Australia. Now, I was going to bring this up, and I'm definitely going to bring this up now. This and the nightclub fire thing, I have reported on in my news show. I remember talking about this on my news show.
Wow.
And I made it a point. You're going to try to find a small capsule along a 1,400-kilometer, highway.
Yeah.
But you have to. It's radioactive. So, I wonder if they found it. We also have protests and public outrage sparked across the U.S. after the release of multiple videos by the Memphis Police Department showing officers punching, kicking, and pepper spraying Tyre Nicholas as a result of running away from a traffic stop, which resulted with him dying in the hospital 3 days later after the incident. Good riddance to bad cheese. I'm not happy he's dead, but you get what you deserve. If you're going to run away, from a traffic stop, if you're going to be non-cooperative and you end up dying, you get what you deserve. I don't know what else to say. You get, even if you think you're in the right, if you think the police is in the wrong, just go along with it and then take them to court afterwards. But running away and being a child, trying to flee your responsibility, you end up sometimes getting killed like this guy. 2024, world's largest cruise ship, Icon of the Seas, able to house 7,600 passengers at 365 meters or 1,198 feet, is 5 times larger than the Titanic, set sail from Miami on its maiden voyage.
5 times larger?
Yeah. Oh, let me show you. I think there's a picture out there.
These things look top-heavy to me, too. They got all these rooms and boards up there, and man.
Yeah, no, they so do look like very, very top-heavy. But there's a, I'm trying to find. Here it is. It's hard to see initially, but it's you see the Titanic in front of the ship.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't see the Titanic.
Exactly. It eclipses it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like the entirety of the Titanic, the height of it, minus the smokestack, barely even comes up to the first deck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that's crazy.
That is. What a great picture.
I know. That's why I wanted to bring it up. It's like in front of it, and you just what?
Yeah.
And in 2025, James McHenry, the acting U.S. Attorney General, fired more than a dozen prosecutors who worked for on special counsel Jack Smith's prosecution of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Good. And then we have Rwanda-backed rebels led by the Tutsi group M23 seized Goma, the biggest city in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, displacing 500,000 people. These are the same people, the Tutsis, that we annihilated when they were trying to screw over the Suez, right? A couple years ago.
I'm not sure.
2025 as well, stocks of NVIDIA, leading supplier of AI chips, lose $588.8 billion in market value, the most a stock has ever lost in a single day after the release of a Chinese AI model by DeepSeek. Yikes. And that shall conclude the show for the day. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links that you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis. We can only bring you a portion. Please check our sources for more. It is up to you to find the artifacts of our history, but only if each individual reaches out with and for open mindfulness and a yearning to see outside of what you think you know, to grow and to find enlightenment. We have to find common ground with those who see their opinions differently from your own and find a better way to be better to one another. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. Otherwise, we'll have a show up. We have to have one every day. Check the underbar. For all of you and all of us, I'm Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you, viewer, are you. Thank you so much for coming in and joining us. And until you catch us next time, whatever that is, wherever that is,